and only wearing ordinary man's dress. Then Mahaprabhu thought, ego is not that. They have given up the ego due to the blessings of the Lord. He is a devotee. You are a devotee, my dear Maharaja. You are a devotee. And in the next life, you will be a devotee. The previous life, you was a devotee and you have served me. Now you have served me. Otherwise, no one can be so daring to serve. To serve nobody, because I am emperor. No ordinary man come to me. So now, the ideal, Mahaprabhu said, no, you are a devotee. Viva Kiva. But the teachers and the sannyasis, I should teach the public. If I embrace them, they can give you something which will destroy your life. So, you check it. No sannyasi should come out for a material desire, with a material desire, and it should not it should be allowed to think over and he should think what part I have taken sannyas. Sannyas to give up everything. Mahaprabhu strictly was a sannyasi. He was taking 3 times a bath, morning, midday and evening. When he was in Vrindavan, between Mathura and Vrindavan, there is a Akrur Ghat. In that ghat only there are 5 houses or 15 houses. And those householders used to give him bhiksha, food. No person in Vrindavan. Here in Vrindavan, all trees, full of birds, full of deers. They are dancing, cuckoos and peacocks and swans, lots of swans. Evening returning home. But now you see no tree, everywhere you see building, fine building. All fine building. But when Mahaprabhu came, no. So Mahaprabhu used to go from morning, he used to go to Jamuna, to Vrindavan, and there was an Imritala, the tamarind tree, big tamarind tree. Under it he used to sit. It was by the side of Jamuna. Up till 12 o'clock he used to do Harinama. And then he would return to Mathura or this Akrur Ghat, where he takes a bath and attends food party at 2 o'clock. And after 2 o'clock, he returns and only takes rest, doesn't go anywhere. This is how Mahaprabhu, an ideal sannyasi, he has come to this world to speak as he practices. He shows in winter, going through the forests, heavy forests, there he used to take bath early morning and evening, one bath, before sunset or after sunset one. And what was available, there were no people who could give him proper diet. So Prabhupada Bhattacharya was there, he used to cook, or he requests others to give some rice and vegetables. Whenever necessary, I will cook. This is how he served. And Mahaprabhu returned. And then, one day Mahaprabhu saw hundreds and thousands of people are running towards Vrindavan. Maharaj, where are you going? We are going to see Krishna. Where is Krishna? Krishna is but what is it? Jamuna. There, Kaliyadaha. There, they say in the night we see Krishna. You see Krishna. Yes. If one says all fellows, they follow him. And the cook with Mahaprabhu, he questioned Mahaprabhu, how are you going to see Krishna? Please allow me, order me to go to Vrindavan and see Krishna. Mahaprabhu asked, where? And the Kaliyadaha. Fool. In Kali Yuga, Mahaprabhu giving darshan, he is slapping. And then you will know the real truth early in the morning. Next morning, when all of them are telling that they return, Mahaprabhu asked, what is the result? Did you see Krishna? Nobody says I have seen Krishna. And what did you see? Why you are running? He is a fisherman. He catches fish. He has got net and in the boat. At the end of the boat, he has written a light lamp to get the fish come nearer, and he has got a net and he throws net and catches fish. This is the fact. Then he asked Balabhadra Bhattacharya, you see what they say, the truth. Nobody can see Krishna in Kali Yuga. Nobody could see Krishna in this age. Nobody. It is difficult. When can you see Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav. If you come to the 8th step, then you will have that prema. You can see the Krishna, that lightning light comes and goes within fraction of a second. That is the darshan of Krishna darshan. And it is told, Guru Goswami told in sadhan, Nama sadhan, he has explained. But many of us, we are satisfied with repeating 16 rounds or one round or 2 rounds and saying that I have repeated 16 rounds. No, one must be sincere, one must be faithful, one must be very sincere, and he should follow the method dictated by Mahaprabhu. As Mahaprabhu says, Suno Nityananda, Suno Haridas, Sarvatra Amar Ajna Karaho Pratas. You must carry my order to all. What is that order? Bala Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Kara Krishna Sikha. You repeat Krishna. You repeat Krishna always. Day and night like Haridas, who was a great soul. Throughout the life, throughout 90 years, he was having the chance of repeating Krishna for 3 lakhs namas. 3 lakhs nam daily, 24 hours necessary for Nam Kirtan. But he has to take bath, he has to sleep, he has to go to vent and electric. By doing that also he was repeating Nama always. Bala Krishna, Bhaja Krishna. You repeat Krishna and Bhaja Krishna. Hari Maharaj, Sankirtan Prachara, Radhanath, Swami Maharaj, is Sankirtan. Sankirtan is wanted, not lecture. With all sincerity, we must do Namam so that Krishna, as a Nama Namya Bheda, Mahaprabhu says Nama Namya Bheda, there is no difference between Nama and the person. So you repeat Krishna, Krishna must be in the Namam. But now we are unable to reach that stage. So we must come and forward and do. Now Maharaj forcibly has preached throughout the world and he spent his whole energy by doing menial services, even by cooking and giving prasad to all. Are we follow it? No, we cannot follow. Very, very important to follow. So we must beg our Swamiji to bless us so that we can able to follow his teachings and proceed towards Vrindavan. That is Vrindavan. There Vrindavan, not a piece of land with trees, is a Vrindavan. It is transcendental. You cannot be able to understand it unless you make your heart pure. If you go on repeating Nama, you will be pure. Then you will find the Namam there. You are coming.
Yes.
Jai, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Excuse me, I am old. Now I am 90. At this old age, I go everywhere. Wanted by the grace of Prabhupada. Succeed traveling and preaching.
His Holiness Bhakti Puri Maharaj ki Jai. 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 Hari Hari Bol.
Mike. Bhakta Mike.
Om Agyanatiminandasya, Dhammadhanam Salakaya, Chaksu Samadatarn Zena Tasmai Sri Gurve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manavistam, Spatikam Zenvitale, Sayanam Kapalamayam Dadati Satanam. Om Sikopa Sudhasta, Kripasana Vayavasa, Sikanam Kapalidya. It's hard to know what a fly should say when he lands on the Vyasa sun after all this. But I think he's going to make believe he's a canary and try to sing. Not that kind of singing though. I thought I'd tell 3 short stories about Srila Prabhupada that are very important to me. 2 of them, one I heard on a tape, and it's something that indicates something inconceivable to me. And this is that little pastime. That once while Prabhupada was preaching, first when he came to the United States on the Bowery, and he was explaining a concept that Westerners were not familiar with. And he explained that God has a form, but yet it's not a form like our forms. He never becomes old. So then he said that you have never seen a picture of Krishna as an old man. And then he said, have any of you seen a picture of Krishna as an old man? And then he said, have any of you ever seen a picture of Krishna? And there was complete silence, because no one who Prabhupada was speaking to had ever seen a picture of Krishna. And what Prabhupada did after that, in spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, considering that point, was totally impossible. No one had even, practically speaking, ever heard of Krishna's name, seen his form, or anything. And within that milieu, Prabhupada began to preach Krishna consciousness, and he did the impossible. Second little pastime was something that, to me, demonstrates something, a quality of Prabhupada's. I talk and read about surrender. I tried to surrender and fail in so many ways. But this little pastime, this demonstrates to me what surrender means, demonstrates it in a simple way. I think it was perhaps either Brahmananda Prabhu or Satsrup Maharaj who was asking Prabhupada at 26 Second Avenue about different Western philosophers. And he was asking, is Kierkegaard Krishna conscious? Is this one Krishna conscious? Is that one Krishna conscious? And Prabhupada's reply was that their sincerity was their Krishna consciousness. I've been thinking about what that means as it applies to even this fly, and as it applies to Srila Prabhupada. And sincerity means a full and complete desire to simply please one's spiritual master and Krishna. Sincerity means not taking one small percentage for oneself, or rather, according to how sincere one is, one will simply want to please one's spiritual master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radhacharya, and Krishna. And Prabhupada was 100% sincere, and therefore his sincerity was his Krishna consciousness. And the third short pastime was one that I was very fortunate to take part in. Something of the personality of Srila Prabhupada and how he spread the Krishna consciousness movement throughout the world. He was preaching so powerfully, had a great organization, but what was it that he did to push the devotees to undergo the incredible austerities that they did to spread Krishna consciousness? We heard about it from some of the devotees. The one that struck me was when Mother Malati was speaking, and she explained in a laughing way how we came to India and we didn't know how to eat, we didn't know how to drink, we didn't know if we should drink the water or anything like that. And now, here we are, enjoying the facilities of Krishna consciousness in India. But the austerities that the devotees perform, the suffering, the dysentery, the disease, the impossible circumstances that they went to. Our flower boy over here, he was laughing about it and joking about it. But how much suffering, how a Jew, that when they came to break down the temple and they were pulling Mighty Healy off the altar from protecting the deities with our hair, and how casually we take advantage of the facilities here. So we give Prabhupada the credit for the austerities that he performed. But yes, we really have to give credit to those devotees who gave their lives, literally, practically speaking, and underwent such incredible austerities to fulfill Prabhupada's desire. So what was it that Prabhupada did? What strength did he have? What empowerment did he have that pushed the devotees so that they would give everything to Prabhupada, and they were joking about it, and they were willingly doing it. And I'll just tell one little pastime that to me, that I saw that Prabhupada did this, and it will reveal what that quality was, I hope. Prabhupada came to Hong Kong in 1972, and ISKCON was having some trouble at that time, and Prabhupada had disbanded the GBC. And in my childish way, I wanted to encourage Prabhupada. So I gave him a ring, a gold ring that said Jai ISKCON on it. And then the next day we left for Tokyo, Japan. And several days after that, Sudama Prabhu was massaging Prabhupada. And just Srila Prabhupada was in the room, Sudama was in the room, and I was in the room. And Sudama was massaging Prabhupada, the sandalwood oil on Prabhupada's head, the mustard oil. And then when he got to Prabhupada's hand, he saw Prabhupada was wearing a new ring. So he said, "Oh, Prabhupada, you have a new ring." Just the three of us in the room. And he said, "Where did you get it? Who gave it to you?" And Prabhupada turned his head to me and he said, "Oh, someone." He was a stealer of hearts. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Discuss Prabhupada Prabhu ki jai.
To Srila Prabhupada. Dear Srila Prabhupada, not so very long ago I met one of your old friends, the famous and now late beat poet Allen Ginsberg. He was at one of his, what can be said, reverently irreverent poetry readings, this one being held in Northampton, Massachusetts, USA. When I heard he would be coming to the area, I felt the need to speak with him. After all, Srila Prabhupada, you had put his quite unique forward into your original Blue Gita, that spiritually surcharged little blue book, so cherished by your disciples, the book that helped to change my life. So after his readings and song poems, all quite bleak in nature, I tried to get near him, but he was immediately surrounded by his admirers. As he worked his way to a table for signing copies of his books, I managed to catch him alone for a moment. I quickly said, "Alan, wonderful reading. I wanted to ask, do you remember singing the Hare Krishna mantra on your harmonium with Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada at the University of Buffalo?" His eyes opened wider. "When was that?" he asked. 1969, I said. "University of Buffalo?" he asked. And then he just said, "Prabhupada." I looked into his eyes at that moment, Srila Prabhupada, and I saw his recognition through all of that mental malaise. I also saw a flicker of happiness in those tired eyes. Then he pulled himself away and was carried along with the crowd to the signing table. He started signing books. So I quickly bought a copy of his little black and white book of poems called Reality Sandwiches and took my place in line. When I reached him, I handed him the book. He looked up and I again saw that flicker of recognition. I asked if he thought he could write something about Hare Krishna. He wrote this on the title page: Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Param Jayati Bodhi Svaha. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, it seems he had become a Buddhist Jew once again. But when I looked back at him after reading that, he was smiling at me. I smiled back, thanked him, and moved on, the crowd swallowing him once again. I think it is the best I could have expected. I mean, tact has its place, but I just really wanted to have him hear the holy names again and to remember you, Srila Prabhupada, and he did. Of course, we know the holy names were not unfamiliar to your friend. Few people know that Ginsburg was perhaps the first person to bring the Maha Mantra to Western shores in the 1940s and 50s after his early travels to India. He chanted it in many places across the USA before and during his poetry readings. But though he was a brilliant poet and an icon of the 60s, we can ask what actually happened spiritually to the West from his chanting of the Maha Mantra. Well, sadly, apparently nothing. Seeds may have been planted, but very little happened to the planet. On the other hand, what happened when you came, Srila Prabhupada, years later, and chanted the same Maha Mantra at Tompkins Square Park and at 26 Second Avenue? Well, happily, everything. You changed not only the West, but the entire planet through your chanting of Hare Krishna, and by extension, through your transcendental books. Same activity from both of you, two very different results. The reason, of course, is your perfect purity, perfect dedication to your spiritual master, and the fact that in this inconceivably empowered state, you, in your own words, quote, sweated blood to make your ISKCON and your BBT spread around the world like wildfire. Allen Ginsberg passed away not long after that evening reading and my brief meeting with him in Northampton. But his great fortune was to have had your association, Srila Prabhupada, to have been blessed to have your recognition of his sincerity. Yes, you recognize that Allen Ginsberg, in his so fallen state, was still a very sincere seeker of the truth, and you gave him your association and the opportunity for important service. This has surely been the boon to his eternal life. One last thing. Keeping to the historical perspective, it is interesting to note that a still living friend of Allen Ginsberg and similar icon of the 60s, Bob Dylan, once said, "Nostalgia is death." We, as your disciples and grand disciples, should never confuse what is happening here at this wonderful remembrance and glorification festival with nostalgia. I looked the word up. It means a bittersweet longing for things, persons, or situations of the past. But with our perspective, we would need to change this to a bittersweet material longing for things, persons, or situations of the past. For what we are engaged in here is not nostalgia, but what you, Srila Prabhupada, would call pure reminiscence. Nostalgia may be death, but pure reminiscence of your wonderful Vapu, your pastimes, and your Vani, your dear instruction, Srila Prabhupada, is our very life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, His Grace, Satyanarayana Prabhu, who's not to come and say a few. Was one of the very last disciples that Srila Prabhupada initiated while he was on this planet. She claims to be. I don't know if anyone else has got any other claim on that, but
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatamilannasya Jnanam Salakaya Chakshur Umritam Jana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvati Devam Guravani Charini Visesa Sunivadata Sachari Sachari. I wrote down just few words for the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada, and here I am. Dearest Prabhupada, I feel myself the last of the chariot, or rather your spare wheel, as long as it transcends itself, if that's the way you like it. When I first met you, it was 1977 in March. Seated on your throne of glow in Mayapur kingdom, your piercing voice was echoing through an air of sublime, chanting and dancing among a lot full of devotees, and through my memory I see just your face, written in my soul, projecting itself onto Krishna. Next day, as a trembling leaf, and regurgitating with the emotion, waiting for my Diksha Guru in the arena of sacrifice. The yagya got started, and I knew as I felt lost, my Guru is not well. Thinking I may not deserve such mercy, but my new name got there anyway, and in a pale and circular movement of sannyasis, there I heard it, clear and sound, Bhadravati Dasi, holding the japa in my hand, and still incredulous, I was whispering, Hare Krishna. Those hands stretching themselves to touch my feet. In my tepid joy, I pushed them away, trying to make them understand I was not a saint. Since then, you appeared twice more, and hush, hush, leaning on your cane, you waved me goodbye in Bombay. Your last goodbye, at dawn morning of April, suddenly in November, your demise, that emptiness that goes along with affection and yet without arising the liaison, but alas, I was left without a central point to turn to. Then came the year 1996. My uncle passed away, such was the grief, and his ashes thrown in the Ganga. Since then, there I am, every single year in Vrindavan, in the month of Kartika. The meeting with my Siksha Guru, Bhaktivedanta Bhakuri Goswami Maharaj, opened doors to the way of your Samadhi, forever grateful by your gift of not having abandoned me in the crossroads of this material existence. Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Vishutadine. 25 years ago, on this day, early in the morning, Srila Prabhupada's Ayurvedic doctor, Damodar Prasad Shastri, told me that Srila Prabhupada didn't pass urine for so many hours, and if he did not, then he would be with us only for 14 more hours. I relayed the message to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada instructed us not to let anything pierce his body. He did not want any injection or any needle to go through his body. And Srila Prabhupada also instructed us not to take him to a hospital if he became unconscious. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was in a great dilemma what to do, because Prabhupada instructed nothing to pierce his body, and here the doctor is saying that he'll have to force Srila Prabhupada to pass urine. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj called some senior devotees, those who were at hand, Bhavananda Maharaj, Hansaduta Swami, Bhakti Sarup Damodar Maharaj, and myself. He took us to the room adjacent to Srila Prabhupada's bedroom, and he told us what, he relayed what Damodar Prasad Shastri, Prabhupada's doctor, told him at that time. And everyone knew that Prabhupada didn't want his body to be pierced, and so it was decided that we shouldn't use the catheter to make Srila Prabhupada pass urine. At that time we knew that Prabhupada would be with us only for about 14 more hours. And it was quite accurate, because the time Damodar Prasad Shastri told us that Prabhupada would be with us only for about 14 more hours, it was around 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we let all the devotees to come in. Usually during that time, very few devotees were allowed to come to Prabhupada's bedroom, and only to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a very soft way. Although the temple was filled with hundreds of devotees from all over the world, but just a few devotees were allowed at a time. But that time it was decided that let everybody come in. And Prabhupada's bedroom was filled with devotees. And that room was not large enough for all the devotees. And many of the devotees were standing by Srila Prabhupada's window. And the sweetest kirtan was going on at the time. The day went by. Personally, I just stood by Srila Prabhupada's bed, and I didn't have any recollection of time, how it was passing. I did not feel any urge to eat or drink. We just stood there by Srila Prabhupada's bed, and as if the time just stood still at that time. And then Indradumna Maharaj was sitting by Srila Prabhupada, on Srila Prabhupada's bed. Upendra Prabhu was sitting next to him. At one point, Srila Prabhupada, feeling some pain, started to shake. And Bhavananda Prabhu just held Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet at the time, his thighs. And Prabhupada became very still. And since then, Srila Prabhupada just laid there without moving at all. Only from time to time he was opening his mouth, and I was pouring the Jamuna water on his mouth. Srila Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's very dear godbrother and a very, very wonderful devotee. Babaji Maharaj at one point just told me, see, he is still chanting. And I noticed that Srila Prabhupada's tongue was vibrating in a very uniform way. And I realized, although we didn't hear the sound of his chanting, but Babaji Maharaj pointed out that Srila Prabhupada was still chanting. And in this way, chanting the holy name of the Lord, surrounded by his very, very dear disciples, Srila Prabhupada left this planet. When Srila Prabhupada left the planet, the chanting took one of the most sweet vibration that I ever heard. I never heard such kind of chanting throughout my Krishna conscious experiences. Pishima, Srila Prabhupada's sister, was sitting next to Srila Prabhupada's bed when she realized that Srila Prabhupada left the planet. Tears came down her eyes as if a water pot just broke, and spontaneously, no sound of crying, no sobbing, just tears came streaming down her eyes. And I remember Manihar Prabhu, one of our godbrothers, he is the first one who started to cry loudly. And then we realized that this is the time from now on we have to continue to serve Srila Prabhupada in separation. Now we have to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's Vani. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sati? Yeah, you can sit here. You can sit here. Mr. Sati is from Mumbai, and Mr. Sati, he gave his heart to Srila Prabhupada in the first meeting. And there's so many stories you can tell about how he helped in dire circumstances our ISKCON Bombay project.
जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की। मैं कुछ पढ़ा लिखा नहीं, प्रभुपाद जी के पास मैं पहले दिन मिला जबकि वो अमेरिका में प्रचार करके आकाश गंगा में आए। तो उससे पहले हरे कृष्णा के कीर्तन करने वाले ये फॉरनर लोग आए हुए थे। मैंने पेपर में पढ़ा और ढूंढते ढूंढते आकाश गंगा में चला गया। उस वक्त की उस डिवोटियों की टोली के प्रेसिडेंट मधु वीसा थे। अब भगवान के आगे मत्था टेक के मैं उठा तो मधु वीसा साहब ने कहा कि अभी अभी गुरु जी पधारे हैं एयरपोर्ट से, तो आप हमें मिलिए। मैंने जाके चरण वंदना किया तो गुरु जी ने मेरे पर सवाल किया कि तुम क्या करते हो। मैंने बोला महाराज मैं कंस्ट्रक्शन करता हूँ। बोले नहीं, मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ कि तुम सुबह उठ के क्या करते हो। मैंने बोला महाराज सुबह उठ के मैं एक कप चाय पीता हूँ, फिर नहा धो के काम पर चला जाता हूँ। गुरु महाराज ने बोला then what is difference between you and pig? तुम भी एक सुअर की जिंदगी जी रहे हो। जब तक तुमने भगवान का नाम नहीं लिया और काम पर चले गए तो यू आर जस्ट लाइक ए पिग। मैंने अर्ज किया महाराज मुझे अभी कोई सत्संग नहीं मिला, कोई ऐसी संगति नहीं मिली जिससे मुझे भगवान का नाम लेना सीखा हो। यही ढूंढने के लिए मैं आया हूं। तो आप देखिए कि वो कितने त्रैलज्ञ थे, कितना जानते थे मैं कौन हूं, कहाँ रहता हूं और मेरा मकान क्या इतना वसी है, इतना बड़ा है और मैं ये सब कर सकता हूं। तो मुझे बोले आज से हर एतवार को मंगल आरती करके ये सारे मेरे डिवोटी तुम्हारे मकान पर गोरेगांव पहुंचेंगे और तुम इनके साथ नगर संकीर्तन किया करो। इससे तुम्हारे को सत्संगति मिलेगी। और ये माला लो, अपने पास से मेरे को माला दी, इससे 16 माला रोज महामंत्र की किया करो। ये प्रोग्राम 2 साल तक चलता रहा। उसके बाद के वहाँ जो बम्बे में हरे कृष्णा लैंड ली तो गुरु महाराज पधारे। उस वक्त मैं इतना बीमार था कि मेरे हाथ को कुछ भी हरकत नहीं कर सकता था। तो गुरु जी बालकेश्वर जा रहे थे, पटेल साहब के साथ इम्पाला गाड़ी खड़ी थी। मैं भी दर्शन करने के लिए गया, लड़कों को बोला मेरे को बिठा के 4 आदमी उठा के कैसे भी ले जाओ। दूसरे दिन मैं लंदन जा रहा हूँ ऑपरेशन के लिए, तो गुरु जी के दर्शन करते थे। गुरु जी ने मुझे देखा, मैं दरवाजे में गिर गया, उन्होंने अपने गले का हार निकाल के मेरे गले में डाल दिया और बोले मैं नहीं जा सकते, तुम इतने बीमार हो। बोले मैं महाराज लंदन जा रहा हूँ ऑपरेशन के लिए। बोले नहीं नहीं नहीं, तुम्हें लंदन आने की जरूरत नहीं, बैठे कहाँ हो? मैं बोला यहाँ महाराज मकान एक बनाया है, लेकिन इस बीमारी की वजह से आ नहीं सका। बोले चलो, गिरिराज स्वामी को बोला कि ये गाड़ी वापस कर दो बालकेश्वर की, मैं सेठी के घर जाऊंगा। वहाँ आके मुझे गीता के श्लोक सुना के ये प्रवचन दिया कि मौत क्या चीज है, किस चीज से तुम डर रहा है? ये तो आत्मा शरीर बदलता है। तो अभी तक ये 2 साल में तुमने ये भी नहीं सीखा कि शरीर मरता है, वो पदार्थ है, उसको जाने दो, लेकिन चेतना कभी नहीं मरती। लेकिन तुम इस बीमारी से नहीं मरोगे। उनके वचन निकल गए, अब माला करो। तो यहाँ डिवोटियों के लिए रहने की जगह नहीं है, वो तुमको बनानी है बस। और मैं नहीं जाऊंगा यहाँ से, आपके मकान से, जब तक तुम ठीक नहीं हो जाए। 18 दिन गुरु महाराज वहां उसी मकान में रहे। ब्रह्मानंद स्वामी भी वहां थे और इनमें से कई सन्यासी डिवोटी होंगे। मैं 4-5 दिन में ठीक हो गया। वो बीमारी जो डॉक्टर बोलते थे कि ठीक ही नहीं हो सकती, छू मंतर हो गई। और मैंने डिवोटियों के लिए उन पुरानी बिल्डिंगों पर एक महल्ला बनाना चालू कर दिया। एक दिन मैं काम करा के आ रहा था, मेरा सब कपड़ा सीमेंट से भरा हुआ था। मैं बोला ऐसी हालत में गुरु जी के पास नहीं जाना चाहिए, तो टेरेस पर बैठे थे। लेकिन फिर मन में ख्याल आया, ऐसा क्या है, गुरु जी का दर्शन तो करते जाना चाहिए। मैं ऊपर गया, बोले सेठी क्यों शर्म कर रहा है कि ये तेरे कपड़े भरे हुए हैं, तुम मेरे डिवोटियों के लिए रहने की जगह बना रहा है, तो तेरी जगह कृष्ण लोक में बन रही है। आप ये सोचो कि प्रभुपाद जी अपने डिवोटियों के साथ कितनी मोहब्बत करते थे कि उनके दास को वो कृष्ण लोक देने को तैयार है। जो उनके डिवोटियों का दास है, जो उनके डिवोटियों की खिदमत करता है, उसको वो कृष्ण लोक देने को तैयार है कि मेरे डिवोटियों के रहने की जगह, वो आराम से कीर्तन कर सके, वो भगवान का नाम लेते हैं, सुबह उठ के मंगल आरती करते हैं, सारा दिन भगवान के नाम में रख लेते हैं, भगवान के लिए खाना बनाते हैं, भगवान का मंगल भी होते हैं। और मैंने देखा उस वक्त की उस टोली को कि मैं रात के 12 बजे उनके लिए पानी भरने को जाता था। वहाँ 2 पौड़ियाँ थी और वहाँ पे रहने वाले किराएदार उन बिल्डिंगों में उनको पानी नहीं भरने देते थे। तो मैं परमानंद जी ने वो हालत देखी है। मैं रात को 12 बजे जाके पानी भरता था ड्रमों में कि सुबह उठ के ये डिवोटी लोग खा के मंगल आरती कर सके। तो उन 16 डिवोटियों के हाथ से भी माला फिर रही होती थी, हरे कृष्णा मंत्र की जंग उनके दिल से निकल रही होती थी। आप सोचो वो किस किस्म के डिवोटी होंगे। ये उन डिवोटियों की जो पहले जिन्होंने इस कान में दाखिल होकर इतनी सैक्रिफाइसेस की है, आज दुनिया के हर कोने से एक डिवोटी या सन्यासी यहाँ वृंदावन में हाजिर है, 2 लोग में बैठा है। मुझे देख के इतनी खुशी होती है कि मेरा रोम रोम खुशी से उछल उठता है। मैं क्या देखा कि ये दुनिया के हर कोने से डिवोटी और सन्यासी बैठे हुए आज हमको गीता का पाठ, गीता का उपदेश, श्रीमद् भागवतम का उपदेश, महामंत्र का उपदेश ये सिखा रहे हैं। कल तो प्रभुपाद जी की यात्रा निकली तो आप क्या सुनते हो? ये वो आवाज थी तुम लोगों की जो प्योर दिल से निकलती है। वो कृष्णा का नाम था जो कृष्णा खुद सुन रहा होता है। जहाँ भगवान ने कई लीला करी उसमें ये भी एक लीला है कि प्रभुपाद जी की यात्रा यहाँ आप लोगों ने यहाँ बहुत सन्यासी लोग रहते हैं, बहुत कथाकार रहते हैं, लेकिन जो इस काम का मोरल है, जो इस काम के असूल है, क्योंकि गुरुजी बोलते थे आई डोंट वांट क्वांटिटी ऑफ रोटीज, आई वांट क्वालिटी ऑफ रोटीज। ये उस क्वालिटी के डिवोटी यहाँ करते हैं जिसके बराबर कोई ये संत हो सकता है। मैं ज्यादा नहीं करता हुआ, पीछे से सिग्नल भी मिल गया है। आप सबको बारंबार करोड़हा प्रणाम करता हुआ
Srila Prabhupada ki. Saityaji is the one who, when we just heard about breaking the temple down, somebody was speaking, he was the one who rebuilt it. You know, the guy challenged that who's going to build this temple? And he said, who's going to stop us? He looked at his son's a very nice name, Brij Mohan. He said, Brij, get your revolver, I'll get mine. Let's see who stops us from building this thing. So anyway, he was telling that one time he read in the paper that there's some Hare Krishna Walis, they're from foreign countries, they're chanting in the city of Bombay. He found them in Akash Ganga. He met Vyasa, who was the temple president. He said, Prabhupada, just come meet him. So he took him up to see Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, what do you do? He said, I am in construction. He said, no, I mean, what do you do daily, what do you do? He said, well, I get up in the morning, I get some chai, then I take my bath, and then I go to work. He said, what's the difference between you and a pig? He said, you're just living like a pig. You're not taking the Lord's name. You're not doing anything different than a pig. So he said, well, actually, I was just looking for some satsang that would show me the right way to go. So then Prabhupada told him, all right, my devotees will come to your house every day or once a week? Every Sunday my devotees will come to your house. They'll do Harinam Sankirtan, and you will feed all of them. So this went on for 2 years until Hare Krishna land was built and everything. So then one time Prabhupada was going somewhere, and he asked Giriraj, why does Saityaji not come? Because Saityaji always used to come. He said, oh, he's very sick. And he said, all right, cancel that program, I'm going to his house. So he went to the house, and Saityaji said, I'm going to London, I have to have operation. He said, no need to go to London. He said, no, they give me some machine, I can't live without machine. Prabhupada said, throw that machine out the window. He said, what? I can't live 20 minutes without that machine, they said. He said, throw it out the window. So he threw it out the window. And Prabhupada preached to him for 2 hours. He had 20 minutes to live. And Prabhupada preached to him for 2 hours. You're not this body. What is the use of, why do you fear death? Death is born with a body. You know, all the verses from Bhagavad Gita, he just threw at him. 2 hours he preached to him. He was only going to live for 20 minutes. In 2 hours he preached to him. Prabhupada has gone back to Golok, and Saityaji is still here with us to tell us all these wonderful things. He said, Prabhupada gave me life. So then he told one time, because he was in construction, so he built extra rooms on top of all the apartments there, and for all the devotees to stay. So one night he was going home, and he thought, I should go see Prabhupada, but I'm all covered with cement dust and everything. This is not proper. He said, but then how can I leave without taking leave from my Guru Maharaj? So I forgot to tell one point, Prabhupada gave him some beads and said, you chant 16 rounds every day. So Prabhupada gave him, so there's no official initiation, but we consider that he's Prabhupada's disciple. So anyway, he came upstairs all covered with cement dust and everything, and Prabhupada looked at him and he said, so,
you are making some place for my devotees to stay? He said, yes, Guruji. He said, then Krishna is making a place for you in Krishna Loka. He said, but I'm not a devotee. I'm not doing anything like your disciples are doing. He said, Prabhupada said, I am making sure that Krishna makes a place for you in Golokdham. So he said, this is the wonder of Prabhupada's devotees, that anybody who serves these devotees, they get a place in Golokdham. So what can we expect of those devotees who are every day chanting, going to Mangalarti, serving Srila Prabhupada? If even the devotee of those devotees, anybody who serves those devotees goes to Golokdham, then what to speak of all of you? You're certainly going to Golokdham. Srila Prabhupada ki!
Oh, and then finally, Devi Shakti, David Asi shall also speak. She'll have the last word.
3 discs electronic. And it's everything Prabhupada said about himself, his humor, his perspectives on life, science, anything that would give us some information on the personality of Srila Prabhupada. He's not just an icon or a deity, but he was a person that we can know, a person we can enjoy seeing his video, his pictures, and we can hear. So in this introduction that we made, Srila Prabhupada states, there was a meeting and somebody asked a question about Prabhupada's 15 children in India. And Prabhupada said, I did not say I had 15 children in India. Who has said this? So then Prabhupada remarked, if you want to know me, you can ask me, and I will tell you, or my confidant. So we may hear many stories about Srila Prabhupada, but if we really want to know the truth about Srila Prabhupada, we have prepared this very nice program where Prabhupada is speaking about himself. And I pray to Srila Prabhupada that I may become your confidant to preach your glories all over the world. For the last few days, I've been contemplating on 3 words that I miss. And I'm sure everybody in this room who received a letter from Prabhupada miss. What are these 3 words? Can anybody guess? What? My heart. We are feeling the same. My mind is with your mind, Gopal. That I miss these words, your ever well-wisher. Because practically in my life, it's been 36 years since Prabhupada tried to reform me and save me from material life. These words, when I first got the letter from Prabhupada, I saw these, I didn't see sincerely yours truly. I saw your ever well wisher. These words, I thought about them. What does it mean? Your ever well wisher? Who wishes you well forever? You know, there's a lot of people in this room that want to see me on an island off the Fiji coast. They're not wishing me well. So what does it mean to have somebody your ever well wisher? I didn't understand it. Because nobody wishes you well forever. I still don't understand. But then I was reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Krishna says he is the ever well-wisher for all the living entities. I go, wow! Prabhupada is equating himself with Krishna. Just as Krishna is the ever well-wisher for all the living entities, Prabhupada is wishing me well. He cares about me. Just as Krishna cares about all the living entities who are separated from him. Your ever well-wisher. Ever, the word ever, eternal, long-lasting. It's been 36 years. And in my life, whether I've been active or inactive in devotional service, Prabhupada was my ever well-wisher. In every case, he never left me. He always saved me. Although you may make attempts to leave him, he never leaves you. He will always save you. And I can say after 36 years in this life, in this world, full of nonsense, full of hatred, full of war, Prabhupada was always there saving me. And he brought me back to Vrindavan. Your ever well-wisher. He's the ever well-wisher for everyone. He wrote this letter not just to me. This is the 3 words that he wrote to everybody. Even the most insignificant brahmachari on the street, sweating it out, doing book distribution. Your ever well-wisher. The ever well-wisher for everybody in this movement. And so therefore, to dwell on these 3 words and to think about them and how it pertains to your life, you will see that Prabhupada is your ever well-wisher. And these are the 3 words that I want to leave with you this afternoon. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pacharane Nivisheshta Shunyavadi Paschacharane Panchakalpaturubhyasya Kripasinduve Hacha Patitanam Bhavanevyo Vaishnavyo. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most humble obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. All glories to you. Today in the sacred abode of Vrindavan Dham, we are observing the 25th anniversary of your departure. In this world, love generally tends to fade after a long period of separation, but the opposite seems true in transcendental relationships. For since your departure, your followers' attachment for you has only grown. The answer to this apparent contradiction is given in your conclusion to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Referring to your own spiritual master, you write, he lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. This is the miracle of Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada, that for those who follow your instructions, even death itself cannot restrict your association. Srila Prabhupada, I have been following your instructions carefully ever since I met you, through the transcendental medium of your disciples. It was Indradumna Maharaj who introduced me to you, saying, "Come here, young man, and I will tell you the glories of my spiritual master." His dedication and love for you was infectious, and within moments he accomplished what would have taken many lifetimes. Almost effortlessly, I also gave up my sinful ways and became your humble servant. It was only one of the many miracles which you showed the world, Srila Prabhupada, that I, a lost soul, could become a devotee with hopes of going back home, back to Godhead, in this very lifetime. Srila Prabhupada, it was your instructions that attracted me to your lotus feet. Your instructions that kept me close to you when you were present, and your instructions that have maintained and nurtured our relationship since your departure. and I have faith that by continuing to follow the same instructions, I will one day have your divine association again. Srila Prabhupada, someone might think I deserve such mercy. The little service I have done has somehow earned me some recognition, but this is certainly Maya's big joke. For in fact, I'm a bumbling, stumbling fool, maintaining my material desires, slow in taking up the process of devotional service in earnest, quick to revert to my past bad habits, and always struggling with the mind and senses. What hope is there for such a foolish pretender? The answer lies in trying to fulfill your most cherished desire. I cannot claim to know the innermost recesses of your heart, Srila Prabhupada, where pure love for Radha and Krishna gushes like a beautiful mountain spring. But I do know one special desire of your heart, a desire you shared openly with us and often expressed in your books. Quote, "The duty of all devotees is to preach Krishna consciousness everywhere in the world, because all living entities are suffering the pangs of material existence. To preach Krishna consciousness is the best welfare activity. Indeed, it is described by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as para upakara, work for the true benefit of others." Unquote. The task of delivering the conditioned soul suffering in this material world was your foremost desire while amongst us, Srila Prabhupada. I have spent the better part of my life trying to help you fulfill that desire, and on this auspicious day, I want to dedicate the remaining years of my life to that very same mission. One could easily say it's more appropriate to retire at this time, because such service has already brought me to my knees. My aging body has grown weary through years of organizing public festivals, performing thousands of hours of street sankirtan, and traveling hundreds of thousands of miles to preach around the world. But how can I stop? The service I have rendered falls all too short of the debt I owe you, the priceless gift of Krishna consciousness which you have given me. Evam chanam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kamabhikamam anuya prapatan prashanga vikvamashat shurashina bhagavan vihita soham katam nu vishuddhe tavavrityasevam. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I ever leave his service? Besides, Srila Prabhupada, preaching your message is like drinking hot sugar juice. Although it burns the lips, it's too sweet to stop. The sweetness is in seeing the devotional transformations in the hearts of people, big and small, who receive your mercy. With your desire alone, such miracles seem to take place on a daily basis throughout the world. I see them continuously, day after day, month after month, year after year. Once, after a huge festival in Durban, our guest of honor, South African President Nelson Mandela, put his hand on mine and with tears in his eyes said, "Maharaj, this is the greatest day of my life." Just last year, again near Durban, when myself and a group of devotees were passing through a tribal village in KwaZulu-Natal, thousands of children began defiantly chanting, "Zulu, Zulu, Zulu," in complete bodily consciousness. But when I picked up their mridanga and started to sing the Maha Mantra, suddenly all of them began chanting Hare Krishna and dancing alongside us. What is this great miracle of the holy names you've given that makes the whole world dance in ecstasy? On another occasion, Samakadas told me of his trip along the Amazon River 10 years after I had visited the region. During his journey, he saw a 20-year-old man in a remote village who, to his astonishment, was chanting japa under a tree. When Samaki inquired how he had come in touch with the Maha Mantra, he said he had received it and the japa beads from me during my Amazon sojourn. He said the chanting had changed his life for the better, and so he sat on the bank of the river every day, waiting for me to return. Srila Prabhupada, your mercy has inundated even the most remote corners of the earth. Then, miracle of miracles, as I witnessed a crowd of 350,000 young people at the Woodstock Festival in Poland 3 years ago, raise our arms in our request and enthusiastically and continuously chant the Maha Mantra. No doubt the tumultuous sound created by their chanting and the huge cloud of dust raised by their dancing inundated Svargaloka, causing the demigods to stand motionless in astonishment of your glorious accomplishments. No doubt there are many more miracles to be witnessed by those who give their lives to your Sankirtan mission, Srila Prabhupada. Please, include me in whatever plans you have for such preaching from this day forth. Having tasted the nectar of spreading the glories of the holy name, I can never return to the burnt remnants of the so-called pleasures of this material world. As far as my retirement is concerned, I pray to follow in your footsteps, my glorious Master. May I retire from preaching only when I have breathed the last breath allocated to this body. And if it pleases you, let that be only a temporary respite, for I am prepared to serve your Sankirtan mission, your Sankirtan movement, birth after birth.
I would like to offer my humble obeisances and to all of those who are sitting here today, the sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Vanchikalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu jayavachcha patitanam pavanidho vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. By your mercy we can get some strength. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept my Dandavat pranams millions of times in the dust of your 2 lotus feet, which due to having nestled at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his ever-liberated companions are the softest, sweetest things. Srila Prabhupada, when you incorporated your mission in America, some well-meaning friends suggested you name it the International Society for God Consciousness. Their logic was that people would be more receptive to such a title and thus feel freer to join you. But you weren't interested in doing something fashionable, popular, or even in making your job easier. You insisted on naming your society the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Your logic was that if you use the name God, which although universally acceptable, is impersonal and vague, people might feel freer to join, but they would also feel freer to bring into your mission their self-created conceptions of God, and that would lead to chaos. What the world needed, you said, was a clear, concrete idea of who is God and what pleases him. In one sense, you weren't even interested in what pleased the people, the whimsical sentiments of the people, that is. You weren't interested in giving them what they thought would be pleasing, but you were interested in pleasing your spiritual master and Krishna. Your faith in the conclusion of Guru and Shastra, that by pleasing Krishna, all the individual souls are pleased, was unshakable. Thus, unbeknown to the people, you were their ever well-wisher, their best friend, because you knew how to actually please them by giving them the holy name of Krishna. The rest of the story is history. By your approach to preaching, you introduced Krishna consciousness to the world in a grand, unprecedented scale, inconceivable to your peers, indeed even to Western observers and scholars. You transplanted the Vedic culture into the modern world, a seemingly impossible task. People from every culture, from every country, took to devotional principles, chanted Hare Krishna, changed their name, dress, and diet, embraced the standard methods of worshiping the deity forms of the Supreme Lord, and drank nectarian philosophy, the spiritual science of Krishna consciousness, from the ancient books of transcendental knowledge, passed down by the previous acharyas through you and your Bhaktivedanta purport. Devotees came from all over the world to Vrindavan, and that village, which appeared to be dwindling from lack of interest, began to thrive. Despite such grand success, now 36 years after you incorporated your society, 25 years after your physical departure, the branch of Lord Chaitanya's movement, ISKCON, the institution you single-handedly established, nourished, and expanded, is facing the same challenges previously faced by every other spiritual organization in the history of the world, including even that of your Guru Maharaj. Unable to agree on how Krishna consciousness should be spread after your departure, or unwilling to follow the programs you set up to maintain the spiritual purity and strength of ISKCON's members, or unable to strictly follow vows due to the force of second nature habit or the powerful influence of the material energy, or for other reasons too numerous to mention here. Once cooperative disciples now quarrel among themselves. In some cases, the disputes have become virulent enough to have spilled out into the secular courts and media in a way that in places seems to be threatening the stature of the movement you so sternly warned us to carefully safeguard. And the common denominator of these warring groups seems to be the tendency to blame someone else, especially ISKCON, for their problems. They propose a variety of solutions, of course, from what we need is unlimited tolerance to what we need to do is tear it down and start again. But to me, it appears that seldom is seen, at least amongst the most outspoken leaders of reform, revolution, or even the status quo, an introspective approach to facing the inherent difficulties of this world, difficulties that foster an unwillingness in each of us to accept our share of the responsibility for problems. In your later writings, you repeatedly make the point that Krishna has taken birth in the womb of ISKCON. I submit the following appeal to you, dearest Srila Prabhupada. Please inspire your followers to maintain faith in this principle, and to those who have not, to reconsider. You taught us that the body is always changing, and that the soul remains eternally unchanged. You are the soul of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, and Krishna is its super soul. ISKCON's body may change in ways inconceivable to us. It even may become unrecognizable to those frozen in time. But you and Krishna will always be there to help those who sincerely try to maintain what you have given us.
Handwritten, please, before coming on.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Acharyas, all the devotees and Matajis.
This is my pleasure that today we have assembled here in a very holy place. And this year, that is the 25th disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada, he has done such a miracle for this universe. I can say that not a scientist and not this big miracle for this universe. Definitely, she and his guru. That was his strength. That was his power. You know all well that he has no money, he has no funds, but he has the complete faith, he has the complete devotion, he has the completely surrender to Krishna and his Guru. And this shows us that after the UNO, that is the ISKCON is the only organization where the different countries people, the different culture people, the different nature people, they have assembled under the one flag, and that is the ISKCON. This we have to feel pride that more than 100 countries, the devotees, they have assembled under a one pandal. This is if you want to collect, you cannot do this thing easily. They takes lot of energy and lot of strength and time. But Srila Prabhupada he has done. And he has done by his love and affection. He changed the heart of the devotees. When he was there in the New York, at that time he has met with the hippies. They don't know about the Krishna, they don't know about the Harinam, they don't know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Srila Prabhupada, he has treated them as a human soul. He has learned them how to cook, how to offer, how to worship the deity. That is the great thing. And this is also sure that next coming 100 years, nobody can become a Srila Prabhupada. So, this is right now all the duty and the responsibilities of the present authorities of the society, that they have to take care and they have to maintain the Prabhupada mission. The scientists, they cannot feed the Western people, they cannot feed the people. Right now the world, they want the peace, they want the harmony. And only the Krishna consciousness can give this peace. The scientists, they cannot give the peace. Maybe the scientists can give the peace through the Krishna consciousness. But if they are making the bombs and nuclears, all these things, what is the use for them? They will be destroy this universe, they will be destroy this world. What we are doing this thing under the ISKCON flag, that all they come together, we can sit together, we can chant together, we can offer to our obeisance to Srila Prabhupada. We are doing this thing together. That 25 years we have feel the separation from Srila Prabhupada. And separation has given the pain in the heart. But definitely this pain has increased the devotion also. If you will be see the history, I can give only two examples. One is Pratap Rudra. You know that Pratap Rudra, he has also feel the separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to meet him, but Mahaprabhu has always denied. But at last the Mahaprabhu, he has given his blessing to Pratap Rudra. His separation was finished. He has got his mercy. And second, I can say, the Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was also feel the separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu has left this planet, the Gopal Bhatta Goswami also chant Ha Gaur, Ha Gaur. And by this separation from the Shaligram Shila, he has find out the Radha Raman. So this is the separation. We can see that Prabhupada is everywhere. In every ISKCON center, in every Gaushala, in every Govinda, in every Gurukul, in every devotee's house, there is Srila Prabhupada. So, this is our duty that we have to maintain and continue to run the society which he has given to us. This is a costless wealth. This is the jewel which cannot be, there is no value of this jewel. There is no costing. So we have to maintain that.